A little less than 2 years ago, I put aside this spalted maple burl chunk for drying that I found in my firewood pile. If you know what to look for, you can rescue these gems that would otherwise be destroyed. I'm going to transform this unsightly hunk of wood, reveal its beauty, and show you a quick and easy new finish to apply. There's something just satisfying about watching the pores. After 24 hours under pressure, the cast came out great. I love the color, love the pattern. For those who want to know, I used a Pearl-X spring green powder and an alcohol ink lettuce color by Adirondack Inks and Illuminate green dye. I used 4 drops of the ink and 4 little scoops of the powder. And if you don't have one already, I highly recommend a circle cutting jig for your bandsaw. I should have made a jig years ago. You can save a lot of material. Roughing your piece out on the lathe is more efficient and safer. And with a piece like this that's not stabilized, your chances of success are much higher. Also, I really enjoy making lidded boxes. I've been making them for years. It's one of my favorite items to make. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that this is definitely not the only way to turn a box. There are many different ways. So far, the first turning is great. No chips on the resin, nice ribbons coming off. You should always let your resin sit at least 2 or 3 days after casting before you turn it. Sure is getting hard to see. So if you're making a box this way, it's important to gauge the inside depths so not to go through the bottom or have the bottom too thin. I just transfer my depth measurement to my tailstock quill, which is about 1/5 inches deep, also leaving extra room for the Forstner bit center point. Great power on this lathe. Wood grain is phenomenal, better than I expected, and I'm happy with the wood and resin balance. The form is slightly waved up to the lid with a small footer, and the rim is bowed out. Definitely happy with this piece so far. Another tip is I like having my lathe in the middle of the shop so I can walk around to the other side and turn the inside much easier. Here's the cool part about turning a box this way. You can turn the lid around and put the finial inside of the bowl and use it as a jam chuck, as long as the finial is not taller than the depth of your bowl. And as I say in all my videos, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, as in holding the lid on with tape, as long as you keep your speed down, like under 600, you should be fine. But if you're not comfortable, please just don't do it. I am trying out a new finish in this video or this project. I'm starting with 2 coats of shellac. And this is a 3-pound cut, if you're wondering. Each coat of shellac dries in about 15 to 30 minutes. And I didn't water down the shellac at all with any denatured alcohol. And this is a de-waxed shellac. I also added a medallion, some detail on the bottom of the bowl, and I put shellac right over the top of the marker. Okay, next I will be applying, new to my shop, ACK'S wood paste. And if you're interested in that, I have a link in the description below, also with a 10% off code. I started with 1 coat of ACK'S abrasive paste, which is an abrasive oil wax type mixture that is equivalent to 1,000 grit. And in the directions, they recommended applying this abrasive paste with a green scotch-brite type scrubbing pad with the lathe off and then with the lathe on. Then you increase your lathe speed, buff the piece with a paper towel, until nothing comes off. You can repeat this step several times if you want. I only used one coat. At this point, you can apply a finish, which I've chosen to use ACK'S Restoring and Polishing Paste as my top finish. This ACK'S Restoring and Polishing Paste is a food safe finish and is a pharmaceutical grade. And once again, they recommend applying this paste with the lathe off, then on, increasing your lathe speed, and then removing the paste with a dry paper towel until nothing is visibly coming off. And I have to say, I'm impressed. I will definitely be using this finish more often. It was quick, very easy to use, dries fast, and looks great. Nice satin type finish. This was definitely a great finish for hybrid blanks and possibly my spoons that I make and cutting boards. It's going to be great. So I moved on to finishing the top, the inside, the outside of the top, the finial, and cleaned up the bottom of the bowl, and I used the same exact process of applying these finishes. I did end up adding a point of interest on top of the finial by adding a cabochon. I couldn't resist. I also added a medallion on the bottom of the bowl. Same exact medallion as the inside of the bowl. I used a Robert Sorby spiraling tool with black and gold markers. So, as always, I hope you stuck around to the end. Hope the video wasn't too long. I did have a lot to share. And check out ACK'Swoodpastes.com if you haven't already. There's a 10% code in the description below. And stay safe in your shop at all times. Take care, and thank you.